Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CDL here on Neo Dota. This is the West Finals between UC Berkeley and UC San Francisco. And a pretty action-packed game one. We saw Berkeley take the cake with some really great, one of the best tri-lanes out there, I think, right now, with the Phantom Lancer, the Shadow Demon, and the Keeper of the Light. Excellent stuff there. Once again, thanks for joining us here. I am Maut. I am back from nose surgery. I feel like it's important to make sure that everyone knows this at the beginning of the cast so that if you're having a rough time listening to my voice and you feel like you hate it, I understand why. I am recovering. Regardless, I'm here. I'm bringing you this next game. Hopefully it's a good one. And by hopefully, I mean it will be a good game. Bans pretty much the same as they were in the first game. Magnus on the side of Cal, on the side of UCSF, Undying, and the Nyx Assassin. They're just switching places because, of course, Nyx Assassin's so very strong. Usually, though, when you get first pick, you always like to pick up that Nyx Assassin. But instead, they're going to go for Darkseer this time around, which they let Cal have the last game. And I think they realized that was maybe a mistake. And now Cal does have the same choice. They can go for the same exact comp that they wanted to, assuming that UCSF doesn't pick it up with the second and third pick. Now, if you enjoy our cast here on Neo Dota, which we're going to be doing a lot of stuff in the next coming days, which I'm really excited about, there's a subscriber button that's been added, in which case you can watch our, you'll get a cool icon next to your name, like most subscribers do in Twitch channels, which I think is pretty neat. And you will not be harassed by ads or anything like that while watching our casts. Excuse me. And I think that's pretty cool. Or if you just like us as a casting organization, feel free to hit that subscribe button because, you know, I think we produce a lot of great content, and we've got a lot of great stuff coming for you guys. And I know you guys love Mad, which, of course, is, 8 o'clock tomorrow, with special guest Spitwad. Yep. That guy's pretty cool. Anyways, getting into the game real quick. Rubik here, the first pickup for the side of Berkeley. 58 seconds left on reserve time. Taking a bit of time here. They're going to go for the Keeper of Light this time around again. But they're switching up supports here. As you can see, the Rubik is the pickup here for support. Probably won't be sent mid, I imagine. He'll be probably sent with a tri-lane with Keeper of the Light. Very similar tri-lane to Shadow Demon, Keeper of the Light, Phantom Lancer, if they decide to pick up Phantom Lancer again, but not necessarily the same, obviously, because you don't have the Soul Catcher to amplify your damage, but you don't necessarily need it. Fabolt's enough of a nuke, I think, where you can get away with not having that. And, of course, Telekinesis is a disable, one of the best disables in the game. So I'll have to see how this does play out. Where the problem with Soul Catcher, or Disruption, excuse me, is that you can make them invulnerable when your teammates are trying to get the kill on a hero. So you have to make sure you use the disruption accurately. Base Lottery had no trouble doing that. But this makes it a little bit easier, I think, to kill somebody with Telekinesis. However, it doesn't provide you maybe the same amount of damage output that the other lane does. Also, defensive disruption is very critical to have, too. So there's the change there. 53 seconds left. For the side of UCSF, they're going to try to decide what they want to go for here. Oops, that's the wrong button. And they will pick up the Shadow Demon as well as the Templar Assassin. And that's going to provide them some nice damage. A mid-hero, a very strong mid-hero, by the way, especially when there is no Bat Rider to really harass you. Now, you can pick up things like the Queen of Pain is sort of a soft counter, Darkseer, but that's already on the side of UCSF. Venomancer is another one you can think of, Leshrac as well. But you really cannot stop the Templar Assassin in the mid, you know, in the early to mid game when she's sort of farming away in that mid lane, looking for ganks, things of that nature. Now, there have been a few changes to Templar Assassin. As you can see, Refraction mana cost is up to 100 right now, making it a little bit more difficult to spam early on, especially when you don't have as much mana. Refraction really provides a lot of your last hitting ability. This isn't maybe the most critical change to Templar Assassin, but it certainly is, you know, quite a bit of a nerf. Psionic Trap as well in the previous patch before this one being nerfed as well. Not nearly as dominant as she once used to be, but still a very strong pickup for a mid-hero. Queen of Pain will be picked up by the side of Berkeley once again. Fan played it so effectively. Clink's going to be the first ban out here in this next ban phase. We're going to see a ban coming out from the side of Berkeley in just one moment. Leshrac going out there. Interesting that they ban out the hero that I think they could... Well, I understand this ban actually now that I think about it, because you have Shadow Demon and you need to set up, and you want to set up stun with that disruption, and then you get that stun going off with Leshrac, and I think that's a good ban. I'd not be surprised to see a Lena ban here. If I'm on the side of UCSF, I think I want Phantom Lancer banned again, or for the first time. But then you maybe risk Sven or Luna. Sven, I'm not necessarily concerned about, and I don't think really anybody is now that they figure out how to play around the Sven, which is difficult still. So, I mean, this game could go really any which way right now. I mean, you can sort of infer what lanes are going to be just by looking at the heroes right now. None of the lanes are complete except for the mid lane, which is Templar Assassin against Queen of Pain, unless they send the Queen of Pain off lane, which I don't think will happen. Keeper of the Light Rubik with a carry is what's going to happen there. Shadow Demon plus another support plus their carry there. So you're seeing the supports and carries being banned out here from the side of UC Berkeley. Darkseer will probably be in the offlane, and by probably I mean definitely be in the offlane once again. And when I say offlane, I don't mean necessarily the hard lane, the suicide lane. I mean whatever lane they decide to not go for tri lane in, or they decide to put him solo in. So whenever I say off lane, I don't, which is probably incorrect terminology, I guess. I should just call it easy lane or hard lane or solo lane or whatever. Regardless, you understand my meaning. Ban numero 5 coming out from UCSF. What's it going to be? We'll find out in a moment. 44 seconds. Uh-oh, offline. Fierce. Don't troll me. Am I dropping frames? No. Refresh. It should be working. It's working on my end, at least. The Bounty Hunter ban coming out from the side of UCSF here. We're going to see another ban coming out here just in a moment. Really good ban here. I think they needed an offlane here on the side of Berkeley, and I think that UCSF caught that just in time, realizing that, hey, this guy is a really good offlaner. We should probably ban him out. And he's actually been banned usually first. Well, at least he used to be banned like first or second in ban phases, but he's been getting slipped through quite a bit. 56 seconds left in reserve time for the side of UC Berkeley. This is where it gets very interesting, this last ban here, and their first pickup as well. "38 seconds left there. Still waiting on that last ban. And it's going to be the Lena ban. So, I was talking about it earlier. That's like, Leshrac and Lena have similar cast animation stuns. They require you, they don't necessarily require you, but they are nice to have a setup stun for, like a Disruption from a Shadow Demon or a Burrow Strike from a Sand King. Now, Jakiro is the next pickup, and this is interesting for the side of UCSF for a few reasons. Number one, if you're running this in a tri lane, you have to realize that Ice Path has been nerfed significantly. It used to be 100 damage at all levels. Now it's 25, 50, 75, 100. So it doesn't actually get to 100 damage until level 4, which if you think about leveling in a tri-lane, Jakiro is definitely not going to be getting the most experience. It's going to take him a long time to even get up to like level 6, which is going to be, if you're scaling it correctly, it would be Ice Path, Dual Breath, Ice Path. Can you do Ice Path after that again? Yeah, at maximum, it's like 3 Ice Paths. So that's only 75 damage, and that's pretty late into the laning stages. So the point I'm trying to make is Jakiro, while he has, it's very effective later on into the game, making sure you have the right positioning. I think that the damage is not there to really be super effective in a tri lane, especially if you're going to go for aggressive tri lane, which I don't think is going to happen. I think this will be a defensive tri lane. I don't see them going aggressive, especially up against a Luna and this kind of damage here with Rubik and Keeper of the Light. However, I could be wrong. There's one more pick coming out from the side of UC Berkeley. And we'll see what it is. Once again, this is game number 2 of UC Berkeley versus UCSF, the West Finals for the Collegiate Dota League. They will go on to play either one of 3 teams from the East bracket. University of Toronto is waiting in the finals there for a game to be played between University of North Carolina, aka Bulbous team, and Dalhousie University. I think that's how you pronounce it. So there's 3 teams that are waiting in the East bracket, I should say. Either UCSF or UC Berkeley will be facing one of those 3 teams. And of course, UC Berkeley has a 1-0 lead. They did win that first game in about 40 some odd minutes, almost 50 if you will, with great Phantom Lancer play. I think that was one of the key elements to that game. UCSF is going to try to get back on their feet with this Nyx pickup, and if he even gets a little bit of farm, he can be a dangerous force. So we'll have to see what he does go for. We've seen a lot of phase boot drum kind of lifestealer builds happening, but they sort of tailed off a little bit. It's what they call the FNC build after the person that plays it. Now, I hope you guys are enjoying the cast. I'd like to remind you all that Neo Dota has Mad tomorrow. And What You Do About Dota, the weekly show that we do with special guest Spitwad. He's a pretty cool guy from what I hear. Game is paused. Why don't we get into the introductions while we're waiting here? On the side of UC Berkeley, we're going to see Ray Lottery, hashtag Base Lottery 2016 on the Rubik. Primetime will be on that Luna, Wolfen on the Tidehunter, Fox on the Keeper of the Light, and Fan once again on the Queen of Pain. So not a whole lot of change happening here in terms of not only roles, but heroes being played. Shadow Demon to Rubik, pretty similar. Darkseer to Tidehunter, a little different, but still similar type of hero with that initiation. And then you got Primetime on a little bit of a different carry, and Fox and Fan on the same heroes. Down on the side of UCSF, San Francisco, we're going to see De-Essing Lasers LOL on the Jakiro. The Big Head will be on that Templar Assassin. Soy Rico Suave will be on the Lifestealer. ZZZ on the Darkseer. And finally, Brobosaurus will be on the Shadow Demon. We'll see how this pans out here. It looks like it, though. Defensive tri-lane for De-Essing Lasers as well as Soy Rico Suave here down in this bottom lane. We're going to see that rounded out here by Brobosaurus on this Darkseer, or excuse me, Shadow Demon. ZZZ is going to come here for maybe a little bit of an initiation here. Once again, not an aggressive tri-lane from either team. Wolfen will be going the route of the solo Tidehunter, skilling Gush first. Top lane, we will see the Luna with the Rubik as well as the Keeper of the Light. So everything pretty much as standard as I called it. And not a whole lot of surprise there. I mean, you look at these lanes, or you looked at the picks, and there's not a whole lot you could do to switch this around to make it work. I mean, you could potentially send like Rubik mid and then have Queen of Pain off lane and then the Tidehunter up in the top lane replacing. Or, I mean, actually, I might like that better. I don't know. The problem with that is you don't have a reliable stun up in the top lane without the Rubik here. And Rubik against any hero mid is not necessarily as good as he used to be. And especially against the Templar Assassin, which, by the way, this set is awesome. It's difficult. It would certainly be difficult. But that being said, you give the Tidehunter a little bit more safety here, and the Queen of Pain can certainly survive on her own right with Blink, especially against this kind of tri-lane with open wounds. The only real, I mean, the disruption, of course, would be annoying as well as the Ice Path. It would be disruption into Ice Path, into maybe open wounds, or open wounds to catch up. So these are things to keep in mind. Regardless, they're not going to do that. I don't even know why I'm theory crafting this. So already do 2 disconnects from these teams. They said that they needed to reboot. At least the Templar Assassin did. Yeah, they both are restarting, so that's okay. That's right. Ray Lottery is known for his Rubik, I suppose. Like, people that I have no idea what I'm talking about, Neo Dota has VODs from the first UC Berkeley games that I casted, which were not too long ago, actually. The semifinals against, I can't remember what team they played against. Oh, that's right, it was Cal State Sacramento, I believe. And they had some pretty good plays there, so they're trying to advance here onto the finals. And UCSF, a series that I casted was UCSF, and there's another UC Berkeley team. There are 2 UC Berkeley teams in this tournament. The other one got eliminated by this team, specifically San Francisco. And a great best-of-5 series that was cast by myself, and what a sit from Gosu Gamers. It was a very good series, in my opinion. All of those videos and more you can find on Neo Dota, the YouTube page, which is youtube.com/NeoDota2. Still waiting to get back in the game right now. Pings coming out from every which direction. I mean, by this point in time, the stream will have caught up, and they could be checking stream right now, but they're not going to get a whole lot of information from this. I mean, you'll see 4 bottom, but they weren't going to really try to initiate on anything down here anyways. I mean, the only person down here is Wolfen, so not a whole lot of information being grabbed, if anything at all. And let's look at the couriers. Do we have the same couriers? We have a naked Greeble, gross, as well as the same voracious Greeble. The Greebles, I think, I don't like them for couriers. Honestly, I don't think they're special enough. You think about couriers like Lockjaw, I think that's what it's called, and the Morocco Machine, and that one really expensive one from the International that not many people have, the Doduo or whatever it's called, the Pokemon looking thing. Those are my favorite couriers. Tell me in chat, what is your favorite courier? Give me the name. I really want to hear your opinions on this. And if you say Greeble, I might have a conniption. Still waiting on the big head right now, still reconnecting. This computer taking a little bit longer to load. So once again, you think about refraction, it's 100 cost in mana. Only 300 mana to start out for the Templar Assassin, so that gives you 3 chances to pop that refraction up early on in the game. Now, with a bottle, that becomes a little bit easier, and even further with a magic wand or something along those lines. She's got 3 iron branches, which is nice, but still, mana issues probably will be the main factor here, I think, for the Templar Assassin. I want to see how that plays out, because I haven't really had a good chance to see Templar Assassin play since the patch. It's a hero that I used to love playing, but I can't really force myself to play TA and matchmaking with that change. I know some of you might be saying, well, it's not that big of a deal, but to me, that really, that spammable refraction is not there anymore. I mean, three usages at this level is not what I would really go for, especially if you're going up. In fact, I would wait to use it because you'd be wasting mana, because at first level, it only has 3 instances. So maybe wait to use it and try to last hit without it, which is very difficult. Well, not very, but regardless, I think that it's still not going to be the easiest game in the world for the Templar Assassin. I really am interested, especially if the Queen of Pain fan goes for its Shadow Strike build again, which I imagine he will. Then that dot damage carries over into the instances of the refraction. So these are things to keep in mind. Some theory crafting from the brain of Maut as we wait on the big head to rejoin the game. I really want to make a wooden toaster, or excuse me, a wooden computer joke, but I think that might be offensive, so I'm not going to. Ward's down here for the title, which means he will be placing or trying to place something here in these creep camps. Now the thing is, you can do this by sneaking out of the lane here while they're sort of farming or doing something, but it's very difficult, especially if you don't get out quick enough, which is going to be hard to do because Soy Rico Suave was the first one out here. He's already at the camp, and yeah. ZZZ is not having the most productive day in terms of digestive systems. If you catch my meaning. Let's see, what do we got here? I only use Lockjaw. Of course you do Spit. You have, like, I'm sure 30,000 couriers. I'm so jealous. In fact, I gave my only, and I don't want to get attention for this, or I don't want to sound like I'm such a nice guy, but I gave my only courier away to somebody for my Secret Santa gift for the CDL. There was a CDL Secret Santa. I don't know what I got. I can't remember. But I gave my my mythical Morok courier, which I got from around the time of the International, away. And I was just like, no. But at the same time, it's really not that big of a deal because I've got a Seraphic Regal, which is whatever. I'm probably going to buy a new one now that I think about it. I can't live without a decent courier. Alright, so ZZZ probably will rotate out of here. You can see he used one of those Observer Wards for this placement. I mean, this is the most commonplace ward, I think, in terms of, like, if you're running a tri-lane, is to get vision, not only on the river, the entrance to the lane, as well as the TP routes here from the tower. So those are really important spots to have vision, and I think this is... Someone told me the other day, and I was streaming a game on my channel, someone was like, I placed a ward here, except it was here on the dire side, and they were like, that's an awful ward placement. I'm just like, what? No. I like that placement of wards, and I felt really bad because I thought I was a bad player. But regardless, even if your ward is the worst like placed ward and gives you absolutely no vision, at least you're trying. That's my opinion, okay? Actually, Meld first pick up here for the side of the Templar Assassin. So going a little bit different route there with that refraction change. I wanted to check that out and make sure I saw what he was doing in that regard. And down here in the bottom lane, Suave will be essentially getting free farm. What I like already is seeing Wolfen trying to stack these ancient stacks up, which is going to allow Luna to farm these later on into the game. However, there's a good chance that UCSF could see this before those glaives are even leveled up completely. Excuse me. So Soy Rico Suave going to continue to farm. He's got 5 last hits. Luna up in the top lane with 4. ZZZ is actually jungling, so they're just going to abandon this lane altogether for the time being. ZZZ getting some levels up before he heads up to that lane, probably. I think he'll head up there now. As you can see, he's walking there. I think he wanted to get at least 1 point in Surge and an Ion Shell, just so he can not only deal damage, but as well Surge away if necessary. I think that's a smart move. And you're not losing a whole lot in terms of experience and gold up here, especially since you might be in trouble of dying. Good ward placement here. Very nice ward placement from the side of ZZZ. Soy Rico Suave continuing to farm. Pull happening here. Wolfen getting 0 experience right now, but just stacking up, essentially, the ancient stack. Very, very, very important to have this later on into the game, especially. But Wolfen does need some sort of experience. I think he'll probably stack once more and then try to head maybe into the lane. I'm not really sure what he's going to try to accomplish with this. It's going to be tough to find experience, especially if you're just stacking the entire time. He's just sitting here right now, waiting for each stack moment. He will be heading to the secret shop, maybe up into the top lane. I'm not really sure. Full happening up here in the top lane right now. Fox Raid Lottery as well as Prime Time here, trying to get some last hits. 10 going for the side of the Luna, so it's very even. Once again, both carries are very good at what they do. Of course, Soy Rico Suave is now in that carry position, whereas the Big Head was there in the previous game. Nice chain pull coming in from the side of Fox and Ray Lottery. Actually, this is more of a stack than anything. Meanwhile, Ion Shell pushing this lane back a little bit. Prime Time taking some damage, but he can safely last hit away from the action. And now we see Wolfen is actually trying to pull and maybe stack this camps to allow him to get him some farm of his own. Meanwhile, ZZ got a little bit of damage going his way. Soul Ring is going to be the choice for the Darkseer. Unsurprisingly, we see that all the time. Nyx with 16 last hits down here in the bottom lane. Ring of Protection on him, 1,000 gold in the bank, maybe going for Tranquils or something along those lines. I'm not really sure. We'll have to see. I'm sure I'm missing something, but ZZZ taking a little bit of damage. Fox harassing a nice shot there. And Chakra Magic. Once you get that first level of Chakra Magic, it just becomes like, it's like Christmas for Keeper of the Light, because I don't care how long that cooldown is and how little mana you restore, you still get mana restoration without like anything. It's part of your abilities, and while you don't have a disable, you're one of the strongest nukers in the game. Like, he's going to try to nuke right here, and it didn't do too much damage, and I think they realized that the Surge is going to come out, but still, that was a really good harass there, and I think that they're on their way to at least getting first blood, and ZZZ has to be very careful here in this lane. He's doing a good job so far, of course, surging right when he needs to. I think if Luna's in that fight, they probably get a kill there. Tranquil Boots for the Luna, probably the #1 pickup, I think, for most Lunas in any game, really. Templar Assassin with not a whole lot of gold in the bank. 328 and a bottle flying. Looking at the Queen of Pain right now, the bottle is there, has a sentry as well in the inventory. Wolfen pulling here in this small creep camp. He's actually stacking. He's stacking everything. Still with 0 experience in the bank. Meanwhile, ZZ taking more damage. There's a telekinesis available, but nice harass coming out from both of those heroes. Fox and Ray Lottery. Base Lottery doing a very good job. That's a good point. Cool Cat made a good point that Meld level 1 is Shadow Strike, and he almost got it that time, but not necessarily. Oh, here comes a big gank coming out on the fan. They need that hit. Blink is going to fly out, but he doesn't blink far enough. There's the disruption. They continue on this. They need that Ice Path. It's not going to hit just yet. Guessing Laser's looking for it. Fan is trying to go in a roundabout fashion here, and Brobosaur is going to continue chase. ZZZ might come in here and try to take this out, but it looks like Fan will get away with his life. That Ice Path was not set up properly. De-Essing Lasers could not get it. I don't think he realized that the Queen of Pain was not going to blink up out of the high ground, and I thought that he probably thought that he had no chance of getting that. So, completely understandable misgank there, but a good try nonetheless. Meanwhile, Fan coming with Scream of Pain and the Shadow Strike doing a bit of damage to the TA, who will just pop some bottle charges and be okay. Boots is finished up on the Templar Assassin. The Big Head's got that going for him. Rune control right now. 6-minute rune is not up yet. Of course, Fan probably has he has full bottle charges, so I mean he has rune control, and it's very easy to get rune control with that Queen of Pain. So not a surprise there. Not really a shock. More damage coming in here. Oh, the bottle. He killed the bottle. No. The big head. No. It's 600 gold wasted. Fan. What a good play. Unfortunate for the big head. That is not what you want to have happen. He is either going to farm. That's going to be it for regen. I don't know. That sucks. Man, that is rough. Finally, Wolfen has rotated down here. He's level 2 now. And this tower is actually going to get taken here, it looks like, by the side of Lifestealer. No TP's coming in just yet. Soy Suave's not afraid to take a little bit of tower damage to the face. He will, in fact, take it, getting the last hit for himself. Phase Boots on him. As soon as you see Phase Boots, that's FNC build. I'm sorry, that's it. It's Phase Boots into anything. You don't even have to go drum. Phase Boots, FNC. That's what people said, though. I mean, like, it's pretty interesting. Ray Lottery taking a bit of damage there. This creep, of course, being contested. ZZZ having a soul ring. Meanwhile, missing first blood down in the bottom lane on the Tidehunter. Nice. Good. Excellent. Everything going according to plan. Laggy. Fan with DD up in here. Bottle crowing is happening right now, as you can see the bottle flying back to its owner. And base lottery is here with absolutely nothing in the bank. The inventory, excuse me. The big head will purchase up 2 blades of attack. And that'll be Phase Boots. Actually got another bottle as well. Wait. Or maybe it was picked up by the Greevil. Maybe it wasn't killed. God, I really wish I knew what happened with that. I thought for sure Fan killed it. But that doesn't make sense because then he got 2 blades of attack right after he gets a new bottle. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Big head, meanwhile, trying to chase down Fan, doing actually quite a bit of damage. These Phase Boots give you quite a bit of right click, which is always nice to have. Meanwhile, ZZZ in some trouble there. Illuminate going to go off. He's going to get hit. Level 2 Surge. Lucent Beam, however, going to finish the job. Not able to escape in time. Prime Time getting that kill. Once again, providing him some farm. Like it did in the first game with those 2 early kills on the Tidehunter. Infest going on to Wolfen. There's the open wounds as well. The Phase Boots doing some nice damage there. Wolfen might go down. It looks like it will. Illuminate going to fly off. The Rage, though, still going for Soy Swap, which was maxed, by the way. 6-second magic immunity there. And it is Phase Boots, so... Very well. What is becoming a very popular matchmaking build, now being used competitively for Soy Suave. And this is where it gets dangerous. This is where Nick starts to get a little bit out of control. Once these drums are finished up, he's got that ganking ability. Rage is maxed to level 6. His magic immunity is going pretty well. I mean, that Illuminate did absolutely nothing, and Illuminates will not do a whole lot in team fights if that Rage is popped at the right time. Now, DSing only level 2. If you look at the levels right now, 3 for the Tidehunter, 2 for DSing Laser. So the supports are having a rough time, as you can see. However, level 5 for both the Kodal and for the Rubik. So they've got that going for them on the side of Berkeley. You look at about 750 terms of experience going the side of Berkeley. Gold is about 2,000 going in the side of the Radiant. So UCSF, they're doing pretty well for themselves early on in this game. Meanwhile, there's going to be disruptions happening right now. Plus, we're going to see the Ice Path line as well. Fox taking a bit of damage. There's going to be the open wounds as well. Sonic Wave hitting only on 1 because of the Rage. And Soy Suave, we're trying to chase, but everybody is here right now. Is Eclipse available? He was about to use it. Not going to happen, though. There's going to be the Eclipse going out, and Soy Suave taking a bit of damage. Not enough damage just yet. And the last hit will go to Fan, getting the double kill. So a 1-for-2 trade, I believe, unless there were buybacks there. I don't think there were. No, a 1-for-2 trade right now. Trying to chase after DSing lasers. Wolfen is here. He doesn't have enough mana for a Gush. They can still try to dive. This TP coming out right now on the side of the Shadow Demon. And heading the backside is Fan. Going to try to blink and steal this kill. But DSing lasers playing very defensively. He's got 2 heroes here in Fan, and I don't think he's going to want to dive this. So I feel like my stream is a little bit more delayed than it should be. Let's find out if there's any problems. Nope. Everything seems to be good. Unless it's on the side of Twitch, which I can't really help. Alright. Illusion Rune bottled up for the side of the Templar Assassin. Everything going pretty swimmingly for the Templar Assassin, except for that bottle snipe. What I think was a bottle snipe earlier in the game. Don't quote me.
Illusion.
And Prime Time going for drum for himself. I like calling it drums rather than drum. I don't know why I prefer to call it just drums. But whatever. Regardless, looking at the last hit chart, 58 going for the side of Nakes, 53 going on the side of Luna, so still very close in terms of that. Of course, Luna getting a few kills as well. Net worth, though, Nakes is leading the way. Looks like he's going to go for Gloves of Haste, which could be a Maelstrom. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. I don't think it'll be a Midas. I don't think he needs it. He's already gotten a few kills, so... but he could be getting it, trying to outcarry this Luna, who, by the way, is going for BKB as quickly as possible. And we'll have it relatively soon. Needs the Mythril Hammer, of course, in the recipe, so still relatively soon is also a relative term. Prime Tam taking a bit of damage to ZZZ's Ion Shell. Mid lane. Looking like there might be some action here. Not really sure. Oh, goodness. Level 3 against the level 9. Well, wait, no, they're on the same team. Never mind. Still, level 4 against level 9. Level 3 at 11 minutes in the game. That's pretty rough. Robosaurus will be getting some more experience through this. He'll actually hit level 4 with this creep camp. I'm not sure about the Shadow Demon himself. He's actually just been sitting up here maybe thinking about stacking these Ancients. As you can see, it looks like he's about to do that. Net worth now, 5,000 on the side of the Nakes. Looking at items, probably not a whole lot here. Darkseer going for Headdress, might be going for Mech. I'd imagine he's able to get some farms, so that's not a surprise there. Kotal will probably be going for the Mech if he can ever get there, but of course he doesn't have the most in terms of items right now. Meanwhile, heading up into the top lane, we do see a TP coming in from Zoe Swab and might be going for some sort of initiation on Primetime, who does actually have his ultimate available. There's going to be the open wounds. Rage not used just yet. Will be used in a second. Illuminate going to fly. Primetime, one more hit. The Ice Path actually going to get the kill there. ZZZ with Darkseid with the Iron Shell getting the kill. Sonic Wave going to whiff. Actually, the Rage, was used at the right time. Fan taking a bit of damage, but he cannot chase him, of course, with that Blinky. ZZZ will get a double kill on that Keeper of the Light. Swordbreaker will back off. Nice play there, nice ganking coming in from the side of the Nakes, as well as a really good Ice Path coming in from the side of Phoenixing Waste. Meanwhile, Open Wounds on the side of Ray Lottery. He's taking a bit of damage, and now Fan in some trouble. Level 3 Blink will be off cooldown in about 4 seconds. Should be able to escape just fine. The Meld damage is going to hit, but not enough to get the kill. Still, 3-for-0 trade. A very nice play there for the side of the Radiant and the side of UCSF. They're looking pretty good early on here. Got about 1,000 experience lead right now. Gold is about 3,000 and climbing.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And they'll probably take this tower too, I imagine. They're going to fortify it, but I don't know if there's going to be any TPs. Doesn't look like it. And looks like they will take this tower, which will give them even more of an advantage. They already took the tower down to the bottom lane right now. You can see Wolfman trying to desperately get up to level 6. He's at 5 right now. So he's actually getting some more experience despite the tough time that he had in that solo lane earlier. Well, it actually wasn't really that, more so than it was the stacking of the ancient camps, as well as the big camp over here for the Luna. And Primetime going for, he actually maxed out both the Lunar Blessing and the Beam, so now he can go for the Glaives, which will allow him to farm a little bit more effectively, and maybe eclipse the last hit number of the Nakes, and that's going to be pretty important. So it looks like it will be a Maelstrom for that Lifestealer. I think he only needs the recipe next, which he can build into Mjolnir with that Hyperstone and the recipe as well, so we'll see if that's what he decides to go for. They're trying to mount a defense here for this tier 1 mid. Primetime with Eclipse. Of course, if Rage is hot, you really want to be able to kill this guy, and Eclipse would do the job there, assuming that Magic Community doesn't fly off, and now ZZZ is going to back off. Shadow Strike hitting him right in the face. Wolfen taking some tower damage. There's going to be a disruption onto Primetime. Drum is popped. Swordbreaker Swab using his Open Wounds and Rage right now, going absolutely ham on Wolfen. Swordbreaker Swab taking getting a lot of health back with that Infest, as well as the Open Wounds, so they cannot really look to fight into this inside of the Dire. That's just too much damage coming in from the side of Nakes, and that's really what you see in every single Nakes game. If he gets at least a little bit of farm, which is Phase Boots and Drum, and then maybe even a little bit more, that's a lot of damage. Like, 24 damage is nothing to really scoff your head about. Plus the 3 damage from Drum. It's really not about the damage in that. It's more about the move speed and attack speed, so. And the reason this works is because that attack speed that you lose from not having treads, you get from sort of a little bit from the Drum, so. As well as Rage. This tower will be taken down, however. And Berkeley is able to take it somehow. They're going to try to deny it. No, Fan does get the last hit.
Middle tower has fallen.
Net worth going to check that out. Well, at least they got that going. Wolfen going down, unfortunately. He still doesn't have Ravage, so he wasn't able to use it against the raged up Nakes. Not that it would have mattered. 3,000 in terms of experience going on the side of UCSF. Gold, 5,000, starting to level out just a little bit. We saw this in the previous game as well. There was a point in which both carries got their core items up, and it was a little bit more difficult to really pick off heroes as much because they started playing as 5. And this is sort of about the same time when that happened in the previous game. And if Berkeley can continue this sort of let's move together as 5, take towers, continue farming for the Luna, they'd be in a pretty good position. Now, if she dies, that's going to set her BKB back, and they really can't afford that. Soyrico Swab on the backside is, they're looking to maybe get initiated on here. There's all 5 except for the Jakiro are here. I want to keep my eye on this bottom lane down here and make sure I don't see, and I don't miss anything. Soyrico Swab will get a, he's actually going to get initiated on. However, the disruption coming in from Ray Lottery there, he did steal that. Mech is going to pop off. Who has the mech? I think it's ZZZ. Yes, he does have the mech. And now they're going to continue chasing here. But, man, the mobility is just too much on the backside. Coming in, Shadow Demon looks like he will go down to the Shadow. Oh, the deny coming in for the big head. I was about to say it, but nice deny coming in. Meanwhile, Eclipse doing a bit of damage, but Soyrico Suave able to tank up most of it through that magic immunity, not taking any damage. Fan in some trouble, needs to Sonic Wave, does get 1 kill. And they actually take down 3 heroes right now, and Cal is turning this around, pinging on Swab. He's trying to deny himself. There's going to be the Infest, actually, and Swab's still trying to get out of there. Swab going to pop his Rage. They need to just right-click him a few more times and get a kill. Fan will go down, but a double kill for the big head in the meantime. There's going to be the Dust being popped. Wolfen taking quite a bit of damage. Ray Lottery has to back off, and Ray Lottery might go down for this as well. So it would be a 4-for-3 trade, but he does meld up. There's no vision here for the side of the big head. They will try to find something here. Ray Lottery is in some trouble. He's got no mana to telekinesis. He's actually just going to try to run right now. They're pinging on him. The slow is going to fly. The blink, and Ray Lottery, another meld there. There are Sentry Wards here, and that's going to be the end of Ray Lottery's life. Despite some nice plays there, he just didn't have the mana to really compensate for that. So what should have been, I think, it was a good fight. It was a very good fight for the side of the Dire, but it could have been a lot better, I think. Regardless, there's no point in crying over spilt milk. Blah, 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 cliches. 4,000 in terms of experience going to the side of the Radiant Gold as well. Still level of about 5,000. I think Luna went down in that previous fight. I could be wrong. No, if Luna got out, fine. And that's, I think, a trade that you want to make. The lifesteal, I think, went down, though. Soyrico Suave, of course, did go down in that fight. Yes, he did. The Queen of Pain getting that kill. So, actually, a lot of money going inside of Fan. You can see him picking up the Point Booster, which is the start of an Aghanim Scepter Prime Time. Very close to a Mithril Hammer, but then after that, he does need that recipe. So, he's been trying to get that BKB, and it's been taking a while, but now he's got 1 point in Glaives. We'll have 2 soon at level 12. And they're going to try to push this tower, which will give them even more money. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Soyrico Suave here with a TP, however, on cooldown for 20 seconds. They can push this. It looks like they're going to try to do so. Fortification going to fly out. Might not be able to save this. Illuminate going to fly as well. Not going to hit anything. They're going to back off, actually. Despite the fact that Soyrico Suave could not TP in. I don't know if they had that knowledge or not. I doubt it. The big head is going to head back to the mid lane, going to try to pressure this tier 1 tower probably. Meanwhile, Cal is going to say, okay, well, if you're going to do that, we're just going to take this bottom lane now that you wasted your fortification. Meanwhile, top lane is actually getting pressured pretty hard by the side of Soyrico Suave. There's going to be 2 TPs here. Any TPs mid doesn't look like it right now. So, however, the big head will back off momentarily, it looks like. Prime time, Fox TPing as well. Fox TPing to the back tower in the mid lane. Soyrico Suave will be able to get out of there. He did use his phase boots just to hoof it out of there. Maelstrom is done, so there's that.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And they're positioning themselves to go for an initiation. I don't know if they have any vision anywhere. I mean, they have traps, but there's none in spots that would give them vision on Fan or Prime Time. They're going to try to push up the top lane regardless. UCSF wants to really continue on with their advantage, and I don't blame them. It's the same thing that we saw Berkeley do in the previous game. Maelstrom has been finished for a while. I'm not sure what Lifestealer is going to go in terms of items. He's got nothing in his stash. I don't think there's anything on the courier. Primetime does have his Mithril Hammer, but that's still a ways away from that BKB. About 1,000 gold right now. Rest of the side of Berkeley rotating up here, realizing this could be trouble. Level 12 Lifestealer, going to go after base Lottery there. There's the open wounds. Ray Lottery taking a lot of damage. She's going to go down absolutely immediately. There's the wall rep. They're going to fly on Van. TPing in at not necessarily the best time, but that's okay. He's actually in a okay position. Get a Shadow Flick on ZZZ. There's the Ravage hitting on 2, as well as 3 actually. And there's going to be the Eclipse going out. Soyrico Suave doesn't have his Rage. ZZZ very close to going down. He will go down. Soyrico Suave is the next choice. They're going to try to infest. If he has it, he does have it available. If he can't do it to the Magic Immune Creep, he will go down. Fan getting one of those kills. And in the backside now, Templar Assassin will pick off the Tidehunter. However, I think that taking down both the Darkseer as well as the Nakes is a critical pickup there for the side of Primetime. Getting that Eclipse used after Rage was on cooldown. Nice play there. Very close to that BKB now. I keep talking about it. Experience going just a little bit down now. As you can see, heading down to 5,000 right now for the side of UCSF. Gold now, it was plateauing at 5,000, heading down to 2,500, about 3 to 4,000 right now. So they're getting back in this one. Jakiro is really the story for the Radiant side. I think this is the biggest problem, is that you have the lowest level support, and he's not really accomplishing a lot. And it's because he hasn't really gotten too many kills. He's gotten 4 assists. He's not really helped too much in terms of getting kills. A lot of kills were just nakes being nakes, essentially. Whereas it wasn't really necessarily the ice path, which is still only 75 damage, by the way, which is pretty negligible at this point. Top lane going to get pressured here by the side of Berkeley, and this is actually, they're out pushing their opponents here. Well, it'll be about tied. There's going to be a TP coming back from the side of Fan, so actually it will be tied, or will be Berkeley out pushing their opponents. So, and it will be a BKB also for the Templar Assassin. And Primetime should have this. Oh, he can't afford this to have happen. He's going to try to TP out, and will do so in time. Oh, or maybe not. Wow, that disruption got in just in time. Primetime will go down, and that is huge. That is going to, not necessarily like delay it for the longest period of time, but it's not what he wanted, obviously. Meanwhile, the Big Head trying to push this. There's a nice ice path onto Wolfen. Might trap up as well. They're going to continue to try to siege this tower, doing a good job of it. The illusions being very annoying. Fanny going to try to take care of them. Will do so with the help of the tower. On the backside, Ray Lottery is here. Very squishy. No brace for him. I think he needs to get that up on him. He can get taken down almost immediately. Surge on the Big Head. Nothing going there. Level 2 Wall of Replica should be skilled momentarily. I'm surprised it wasn't skilled yet. Mech is finished up for the Dark Sword. We talked about that already. He's going to be going for Pipe as well, I have to imagine. Looking at the items, too. Anything different? Anything changed? Mech is going to be done soon for the Keeper of the Light. Aghanim's done for the Queen of Pain. Nothing else really of note that I can see. Uh-oh, there's going to be a blink in the Big Head. The Infest coming in as well. Fan barely surviving, but he's in some trouble. He needs to get out of there, and he cannot do so. Wolfen has Ravage. Not going to use it just yet. He's going to go down. It looks like no. Nice Magic Wand charge. Soriko Suave going to continue chasing. There's the Lucent Beam. Soriko Suave still pretty tanky, actually. On the backside, they do take out... Well, they're going to take out this tower for sure, I think. And they do take out the Queen of Pain, and I thought Wolfen was dead for sure, but he does survive. Meanwhile, on the backside, Fox, you are in a bad position. You should not be here at all. He is definitely going to go down here. I mean, he just gets obliterated by that Templar Assassin. 2-for-0 trade, and they get a tower. So UCSF was not in the best position a few minutes ago, but now they're starting to say, let's get our stuff together here. Let's get it, let's get that going, essentially. And Primetime's been sitting at level 11 for just about forever. He does get level 12, getting that second point into Moonglaive, which will allow him to farm a little bit more efficiently. And Ancient stack is only stacked once. I don't know if he took those. I wasn't paying attention to the Ancient stack, unfortunately. Regardless, it might have actually been taken by Soriko Suave. I wouldn't have been surprised to see that if it did happen. Experience graph now escalates quite a bit to almost 10,000 gold, back to 5,000, and gonna stay up there for quite some time, I'd have to imagine. Last hit's 128 now, going for the side of Nick, so still beating out the Luna as well, and he's gonna take this stack if he can. He will use his Mjolnir to do so, which I think is a nice job there. But he actually, as you can see, he's going to have to back off. That's just too much damage. So he will go back home and he'll regen up, I think. Or he's going to just try to... He could rage if he wants to. And the Big Head's going to be like, oh, yeah, I'll take some of your farm. That's fine. That's totally fine. There's the rage. Soriko's probably not taking up necessarily all of it now. Going to provide him some time to farm here as well. Meanwhile, mid lane is going to be grouped up here from the side of Cal. BKB finished for the Luna. Brobosaurus has got something going on down here. And he's got a magic wand finishing up pretty soon, actually having a courier scout everything out for him, or just sending him stuff. Looks like it will be a BKB finished for the Big Head in just a few moments when that courier gets there. And we see a smoke gank happening from UC Berkeley. They're heading down into the the Radiant Jungle. I'm not sure if they're going to find anything. Fox is here alone. He's going to continue to push this lane out while they go for a ganking spree. Might find the Shadow Demon. This could be a pretty easy gank if they can get the initiation that they want. There's going to be the Shadow Strike flying. If he is slowed, he's going to disrupt himself maybe. Wait for some help. There's TP coming in. Screamer Pain not going to hit, I don't think, through that disruption, but still going to be a decent amount of damage. There's the Lucent Beam. Demonic Bridge going onto the Luna right now. Only going to be doing a little bit of damage, as you can see. And that's going to be it for that aggression. They do accomplish a kill with a gank, but not a whole lot else. Still, good pickup there. Mid lane is getting pressured by the Big Head right now. Fan, no BKB for him, but he's got that Aghanim Scepter. However, there's BKB for the Templar Assassin, which allows him almost certain freedom over the Queen of Pain, who is solely magical damage. Recall happening from Fan right now after he tries to push that out, and they're going to try to push this bottom lane. A nice play by UC Berkeley, I think, to try to continue pushing. And they're going to maybe look for a fight here on the backside. The big head is here with Soyka Suave. There's going to be the Infest. Is there an engagement anywhere? Going on to Fan, perhaps. There's the BKB, the Infest. Primetime taking so much damage. He's going to get absolutely obliterated. Fox taking damage as well. They're going to try to get out of here. Wall Replica going. Wolfen now in some trouble. Might pop his Ravage just to survive. And it might not happen. He's going to get vacuumed down. The Sonic Wave does go for the Queen of Pain, but she's got a blink at about 1 second. She needs to use it to get out of here. And a nice blink across the way, but the blink coming in from the big head and soloing each other right now. And Fan in some trouble. He is going to go down. The big head is going to get the kill. An entire team wipe for UCSF, and they are poised to take this. Still very early on in the game, 26 minutes in the game. It's very iffy about this one, I'd say. 12,000 in terms of experience going to the side of Radiant Gold, 7,500. And that's really what they needed. I mean, they were stuck around this 5,000 benchmark here for the longest time, and now they're starting to climb a little bit higher. And it was a really good initiation from the big head, popping that BKB, that infested so much damage, plus you had the Mjolnir popped off. Going for Vlad's offering, very interesting choice there. And will provide him and his teammates a lot of things that are pretty necessary. The lifesteal for his teammates, the bonus damage is nice, the bonus armor also very nice. Very good item. Allow a lot more pushing, a lot more pressuring. I think that's exactly what they need. They're going to try to head up here in the top lane. Wolfen might get caught out. I don't know if they have any vision anywhere. Prime time. Getting pinged out right now. So they were thinking about going into the jungle. Could have found somebody. Not in time, though. They're going to continue to push the mid lane right now. And this Aegis is up on the lifestealer, as you can see. So they're in a very good position at 27 minutes into the game to maybe think about taking this. Mjolnir is going to be popped for some reason. A little prematurely, but that's okay. Actually has a long...
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Wow, it lasted a while. I didn't know it lasted that long. Okay. He's actually killing a lot of creeps with it, so... They will try to pressure this tower. Tower is taking quite a bit of damage. There goes the Illuminate, doing some nice little damage there, but the mech is going to pop off from the side of the UCSF. They will take down the tier 2 tower. That's going to be it. So there is only one tier 2 left for the side of UC Berkeley, and they had a decent chance at coming back in the middle of this game, but right now it's slowly slipping away. Primetime is not getting the best farm in the world. You can see his net worth is behind 3 heroes on the side of the Radiant, especially the Nyx, who's at 13,000 in terms of net worth. And Primetime, of course, sitting on 1,000 gold, but that's not going to provide him. He needs something like a Yasha, even a Manta Sal, to really stand up, I think, to the side of the Nyx here. And I mean, Nyx is difficult to stand up against regardless. I mean, especially with the Mjolnir. I mean, that's a lot of attack speed. And the static shield is pretty nice to have as well. Illuminate trying to push this back, but not doing nearly enough. This tower will go down. So the only thing left for the side of UCSF is a few tier 3s and Raxes. And the bottom tier 2, or excuse me, top tier 2 getting pressure. Fan will TP back home. Looking to maybe fight this. Soriko Suave is going to dive very far. He will head back though, and he will try to take down this tower. Glyph is available. Fan is here trying to right click as much as possible. Soriko Suave still has, of course, that Aegis, but he doesn't want to waste it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And they're backing off for the time being. Might wait for mech or whatever. Pipe is not there yet. They do have that hood. There's the mech pop. Waiting for the next creep wave as well. Tower taking a bit of damage. Fox is going to... Oh, there's the blink coming in from the big head. Immediately they're going to try to go here. Rage is popped off. Eclipse not doing nearly enough. Both are BK beat up, or raged up, or immuned up. Excuse me. Ray Lottery now the next choice. He's going to go down. That's going to be an unstoppable streak. Fan in some trouble. Not going to go on him. There's the Ravage. Wolfen trying to get out desperately. Fan as well. And Wall Replica going to fly. They want to try to finish this off. Wolfen will go down, and they will leave the other two to their devices in the well right now. And a big play there from both the big head and now Fan coming out and just right-clicking in Soriko Suave and just too much damage, and Fan cannot stand up to that. In fact, he might go down. Going to try to blink out further into the well. Will do so, saving his life momentarily. But this should be Rax's. I mean, they're not really focusing this at all. There's still a fortification if they want it in about 15 seconds when Moon is back up. They will call GG, however, that's going to be it. And it is tied 1-1. And what looks to be at least a best of 4 series, if not a best of 5 right now. So I am Maut. Stick with me here for just a few minutes longer. We'll get into the next game. Thanks for watching. You can check us out on neodota.com. Follow this channel if you'd like. You can check me out at twitter.com/MautDota2 as well as twitch.tv/MautDota2. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll be right back.